All right. Well, hopefully you're catching the latter parts of BCSN, Black College Sports Network, AD Drew and Brian Fulford. I ain't gonna lie. Look, I was over there as well, listening, catching in some of that. So look, that's why I was late. I was enjoying them. So I not only do I create content, I support the content creators. So especially good brothers at BCSN. So going to get excited about that. But man, this is I want to talk about my sneaky good game. I think the FAMU Jackson State game is probably better than some of us give it credit for, but also going to kind of look at that, you know, that whole HBCU go thing, kind of see what that's going on with. And also, let's kind of do a little pitch for a little direction for season tickets. So just kind of got some ideas. Y'all know, if you've been paying attention, kind of looking to try to rethink this investing in champions thing, and of course make a data driven solution. But y'all already know, I come with questions. Hopefully I have answers. And we always looking for solutions because it's always gonna be things up.
Yeah, baby, you know what time it is. Now let's get it started.
Are you kidding me? Unreal!
While our HBCUs are mostly known for academic rigor, community, they also know how to turn up.
Does he have it? Yes, he does! And that might be the knockout punch.
All right. Greetings, salutations, y'all again. Look, what's up, Terrence T? What's up, Marvin? Good evening, family. Good to see y'all. Like I said, look, I was over there trying to catch a little bit of AD Drew and Brian, man. They had a good conversation, man. I definitely got to text Brian later, but like, bro, you should have told me I was gonna do that because look, I was interested. Now, this is my sneaky good game right here. I think the FAMU Jackson State game is probably going to be really good. It might be better than some people think for quite a few reasons. So, again, that's my sneaky good game. The reason I got it as my sneaky good game is because Jackson State could have a perfect record going into this game. And one of the things that I didn't notice kind of going into this game, they do play University of Louisiana Monroe. They have a first-year football coach. Let me move up a little bit on that one. The Troy coach that FAMU's playing, he's a first-year football coach too. I missed that. Look, I tell you when I miss it. What's up, little baby? So, look, appreciate that, Marvin. Look, if you hadn't already seen this, this is the word. Stay safe in this weather. Hopefully you got your water like I did, especially if you're in Tallahassee. Storm is supposed to go directly in that direction. So be safe. Stay off the streets. Yeah, I know. Yeah, just stay safe where you can. But there's a good chance Jackson State could be 5-1 going to this game. They could also be 6-0. Like, I'm just saying. I'm put that out there because it's not like their schedule's the toughest. Like, they play a lot of new coaches, including FAMU. Like, going into the FAMU game, including FAMU, University of Louisiana Monroe, Southern, Grambling, Texas Southern, and FAMU all have first-year coaches. And honestly, the Southern game, I think they can win that one, especially you start looking who they got coming back. Mulligan at the running back, the quarterback, who didn't blow me away. What's up, Gail? But I still think he's got a shot, man. So, little baby said, didn't get any water, even though I knew the storm was in the Gulf and I could have made a turn in my direction. Hey, I don't know if Poke's still open up there. I don't know. I hit the Sam's Club the other day. I had 2 cases, man. So had to make it right. But hey, if you can avoid it, avoid it. But if you got some bottles laying around, fill them up. That's what I can give you right now. But it's gonna be an interesting game. And one of the things that I'm looking at when I'm looking at this FAMU Jackson State game is the coaches. And you kind of look at the preseason stuff, and it's a good thing and it's a bad thing. So you got second year coach TC Taylor, kind of was joking like I'm the gray beard in the room, and it's like you kind of are. TC's gonna be calling the plays for the offense, a la Willie Simmons on that one, which was a good and a bad. Like at times, I felt like, man, when Willie was just like kind of more CEO, I think we had a little more control over the situation. But when he was head coach, offense coordinator, and everything, I felt like he was stretching himself a little thin, but he won a championship. So you can't knock the results. Like, because my feelings are like, bro, you kind of, let somebody do some of that for you. TC kind of mentioned he missed play calling. And something you could kind of tell last season if you watched them at times, he was like, yeah, I need to take the reins on this. This year he's decided to do that. And I want to see how it works out. Now, Colsey on the other side. So what I'm going to do is we're going to do position for position, spot for spot, see who's better. Make sure we stay focused. Colsey's going to be the CEO. I hope that wasn't a transformer. But Colsey is just like, hey, I'm going to help with the secondary, but everything else, whatever. I'm just going to say, if I'm going for position, who's the better coach? I don't know. I mean, I'm inclined to say TC because he's got experience. But at the same point, they didn't really blow me away last year. Like Jackson State with a solid program. You can definitely tell that they take his personality on more than they do that of Deion's. Like he's less flashy. He's more kind of down to earth, regular dude. And they kind of embody that. And so on that case, I'm going to say push. But part of that is push is because I had a little bit of faith in Colsey. And I got some questions about TC doing both. That's just me. Not saying he can't do it. But your first season doing both, I think that's a lot. But they could have a really good record going in, like I said. Now, when I'm looking at the quarterbacks, I'm going Jackson State. I'm sorry. Like, they know what they got. Because at FAMU, who's the starter? I mean, we saw the video the other day, and, some of y'all over there like, oh, Richardson threw a pick. He's too short. And it's like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, they didn't show Junior throwing a pick in the thing, but that didn't mean it didn't happen. Like, we weren't there. We didn't see all the plays, so we still know who the quarterbacks are. So if I had a better idea who the quarterback was, I might have something to combat that. But when you go back and you look at last year's Orange Blossom Classic, FAMU's defensive line, yeah, they made it such that quarterback from Jackson State couldn't do nothing. Like, and he had a decent game considering what he was going up against. But you start looking at the way FAMU's defense just wore him slap out for 4 quarters. I think he got knocked out of the game. If I knew who the quarterback was at FAMU, I might take FAMU, because all I know is when I look over and I see him and I'm like, man, you gonna be having flashbacks? I'm just saying, they're gonna be at home. So the game is in Jackson. That counts for something. Largest stadium in the SWAC. Probably gonna have I'm gonna say attendance is gonna be about 40,000, because Jackson's right there on the too far to drive from Tallahassee line. Like, it really is. Like, now for y'all flying, it's not that bad. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. FAMU Jackson State, not gonna be able to do it. I don't have my stuff ready. It's already somewhere in the house. My closet fell the other day. I got to fix that. But I'm going to the UF Kentucky game. At least that's the plan. If my homeboy flakes on me, then we might just find a watch party and watch the FAMU game here. But I'm going to Gainesville is my plan. So if he flakes on me, it's just one ticket. Then it's going to be a daddy-daughter trip, her first game at the Swamp, and I'm going to make her wear blue and white because I'll never support the Gators. Like, just say it. And look, I mentioned this to him too. Cozy's from that Mickey Andrews tree. Little details are the focus. That and how much man coverage we're gonna see. I think that was one of the things that we kind of forget about Dion's when he was the head coach. Jackson State ran a lot of man-to-man coverage. Like it was like you got to beat our DBs. I think our DBs are better than your receivers. He was right. Like he just was. What's up, Ashley? His DBs, our receivers couldn't get off the line sometimes, and even your best receiver had issues sometimes. So I mean, that was really solid secondary. But this year, I don't know. Now offensive line. Oh, I'm sorry, receivers. There we go. And running backs. I skipped the running backs. Now running backs, is Mulligan gonna be healthy? Because if Mulligan's healthy, I'm gonna go Jackson because he was carrying them by himself. But if we going by like the stable of running backs, I'm going FAMU, like Kelvin Dean, Somerset. Like you could really go push here. But the question is, will Jackson State's running backs be healthy? If they're healthy, might lean towards Mulligan. But if we're saying FAMU's gonna have the healthy backfield, I'm going FAMU. I think FAMU's got slight difference there, largely because of the trenches. Now receivers, push. Like, because really at FAMU at receiver, you don't know what you have. You have an idea, but you don't necessarily know. Whereas Jackson State, they weren't impressive. And listen to TC, he don't want to throw the ball. Like, he's just like, just run the ball. A lot of what y'all are saying, like, if this guy's gonna be the quarterback, just run the ball. TC's thinking the same thing. So this could be one of those games where it's just straight up physical. Now, offensive line, I got FAMU. I'm sorry. You can get mad at me. I think FAMU has the best offensive line in the SWAC. And honestly, I really think in HBCU football, FAMU had the best offensive line last year. That Howard dude was a beast. But I think when we look at it, you start considering how good FAMU's offensive line is. I got FAMU. Like, so offensively, I gave the quarterback to Jackson. Everything else, except for two out of those positions go to FAMU. One kind of split. So offensively, I got FAMU. Now defensively, everything but the secondary goes to FAMU. I just think FAMU's defensive line is going to do better. And part of that's just, look, the OBC last year, FAMU dominated. And if we are looking at the way this D-line is built this year, it's very similar. The only thing you didn't replace is Anthony Dunn. But even your linebackers were eating. Like, Chaney was going off. Major was a tackling machine. Like, last year's Orange Blossom Classic, FAMU was dominating. And look, Ashley, JSU believes they have the best quarterback in the conference. Surprised they won't be heavy on pass. He's the best returning quarterback. I mean, I can't take that from him just because Andrew Body didn't finish the season. And that's a question even going to the FAMU game. Can he finish the season? Like, can he stay healthy? All that wasn't his fault. But at the same point, they got a valid argument. I just don't see TC going into the teeth of this defense that much. I think he's going to try to use play action a little more often. But I do love the idea. I just don't. Again, I think a lot of our opponents realize that this secondary is solid. And it's one of the strengths of your defense. So, but I wouldn't be surprised. I think if their quarterback, and just based on what we saw last year, if he throws the ball, if he has more than 20 attempts, they lose. I'm sorry. Like, no disrespect to the guy. He is a guy where I don't want him throwing the ball against FAMU more than 10 to 15 times. Look, Ashley, look, yeah, I wouldn't try that. I wouldn't try secondary either. I wouldn't. And honestly, only thing Jackson State does have they have some receivers that have some height. They do have a 6'5" receiver. They got a lot of tall receivers that may give our guys some trouble. But the issue is, again, how's their offensive line going to do against our defensive line? That was a huge issue last year. And even at linebacker, and hopefully, everything's well with our linebacking core. And TC stated, he was like, yo, we had to do some things on linebacker. Like, that was not it. He did bring in a transfer. And one of the things you'll notice across the board, every one of your top 3 teams in the SWAC East, they brought in a linebacker or 2. Like, FAMU brought in multiple linebackers. You had to, though. You lost multiple linebackers. But now, when it's on the secondary, I said push, only because Jackson State secondary had a lot of picks. We got 2 quarterbacks that you kind of like, I don't know. And I don't know one. I don't. That bothers me. But at the same point, I said push there. Now, special teams, another position. TC's like, yeah, nah, that got to improve. I gave that to FAMU. So if I'm looking for position, I think FAMU should win the Jackson State game. But I think it's close. Like, oh, man, look. Appreciate y'all. Look, y'all make sure y'all give Ashley a shout out. Look, mentioning that. You look, Tamara, I'm gonna blame you. Go support the Fang Exchange, man. Look, they had the show on Thursday. Go check them out. They are on Instagram as well as Twitter. Come here and support our student athletes, man. This is going to be the difference, because one of the things we are seeing, I think the best comparison would be Jackson State. Look at what they did with their locker room. I think one of the ways you kind of overcome some of those things, less so of with FAMU, but more so, especially speaking to what Jackson has done to their locker room. Make sure that NIL is going, and it definitely speaks volumes when 2 years in a row, a local business does a deal with FAMU student. This is our second year where Krispy Kreme, we had Dunkin' for breakfast. Krispy Kreme has done a deal with the FAMU athlete. Last year was Jalen Glaze. This year is Kelvin Dean. And the cool part about that is these are both local kids. So it's not just that they're doing NIL deals and it's just some rando kid. These are local kids. Jalen Glaze, graduate of the best high school in the city of Tallahassee. Green and gold, Lincoln Trojans. And then just vibe, woo. Kelvin Dean with the Rickards, which y'all know I got love for Rickards. That's my mom's school. So look, and Lil Baby says that game is going to come down to the play calling. Who is the better one in the pinch? You got that one. Like, oh man, look, anytime, man. We FAMU forward, always forward. And if you missed it, it's still on the YouTube. Go look up Fangs Exchange, and you'll be able to go catch it if you missed it. But Lil Baby's got the point. I think it's going to be play calling, and I think quarterback play is going to be the other thing. I think some of it is going to be. This is going to be Jackson State's first time against a really solid roster outside of Louisiana Monroe. And the thing with Louisiana Monroe, they're outnumbered scholarship-wise. But you still got a first-year head coach. But you're going against a second-year head coach. So it's not like you have a million years of experience. You got another year, but you're catching him in his first game. Again, I said I think Jackson State could easily be 6-0 going into this game. And a 6-0 Jackson State with FAMU coming to town, and that's gonna be a fun watch. I think FAMU wins though, largely because I got faith in FAMU's defense. I think the defense is just attack better than their offense, and I do think their quarterback is seeing ghosts. I think during parts of this game, he's gonna have flashbacks, and it may be for the better or the worse. Because if they win, He's going to be talking about what we did to them last season. But when they lose, see what I did there? We are going to be talking about that defensive line and how it really just kind of took over the game, clogged up the running lanes, and he probably throws a turnover or two because that FAMU secondary is solid. Like you start 1 through 5, and I see problems. And if they get into a scenario where he crosses that 20 pass threshold, I think it's some problems, unless he's hitting some deep balls. Otherwise, it is not going to be the game they want. I'm going to give this one to FAMU in Jacktown. It's going to be closer than we want. I'm going to go 24. I'm going 24 to, I almost went 24-20, but I'm going to go 24-21. I think FAMU comes out, wins by a field goal. If it comes down to it, if Jackson State's got to kick some field goals, TC's got questions, his kicker doesn't have answers. So that's what I'm going with it. So give y'all a second to marinate on it. Hopefully, though, are y'all ready? Y'all ready for the booster kickoff? If not, a little 30-second reminder to get your minds right.
Rattlers, get ready to join us for the annual Rattler Boosters Kickoff Luncheon and Fundraiser, August 10th at 2 p.m. at the Lawson Center. Come meet players and coaches from the HBCU National Champion Football Team, two-time SWAC Champion FAMU Volleyball Team, and the reigning SWAC Women's Cross Country Champion Team. Lots of fun and excitement, and we'll hear from our coaches over lunch. Tickets and tables are selling fast. For more information, go to FAMURattlerBoosters.com.
Look, we had commercials. Look at y'all. Boy, look, we done went that big time. It's like they got commercials. So if y'all haven't seen, I've been putting it on the fifth quarter page, kind of trying to build my case that we need to revisit this investing in champions thing, like figure out what it's going to be. And I think it lacks direction. Look, that is all credit to Vaughn Wilson and the Rattler Boosters. We were in the booster meeting, and they were like, Colonel Joe's like, we need a commercial. We need something. We need to get on TV. Somebody get in contact with Vaughn. And I texted him, I'm like, Vaughn, they want something. And I really don't know how to explain what this man wants. And once he came back, he was like, we want to be on TV. And Vaughn's like, I'll create a commercial. Thank you, Vaughn. So shout out to Vaughn Wilson doing the good work of Florida A&M University. But one of the things, we don't have a direction as far as season tickets. And I'm not going to out the person because I almost did. If you know, and if not, you need to catch on. But the question was, hey, how many season tickets have we sold this year? And I was like, I don't know. Good question. I can't tell you. And honestly, when I look on Ticketmaster, there's only one place you could buy tickets, and that looks like Section K. So I don't know what's going on with the season ticket sales in the stadium. Like, I can't tell you. And so some of this, I really feel like we lack a direction as far as season tickets. How many do you need sold? How many do you want sold? All of them is not an answer. Like, all of them is not an answer because it's not a real answer. It's not a tangible goal. Like, look, little babies, I thought they go on sale tomorrow. I mean, they've been selling Invest in Champion stuff. So again, a lot of your season tickets are tied to investing in champions. So look, we're going to go through this. We don't have a target. Like, because look, a series revisit. I struggled with the decision to buy an Invest in Champions package, but I did. Exactly. And one of the things, and I'm going to point to it, not to kind of jump ahead into that, because that's going to be a topic for another show. But I looked at FAU, and one of the things they have is like the Paradise Club, and it's like 200 and some bucks. And at the lowest level, you're essentially just donating to the athletic program. Okay, cool. But once you get to the $1,000 level, it essentially becomes like FAMU's Investing in Champions program, where, all right, you get this where you're donating to the university, but you also get this where you get something, season tickets and all this other stuff. So it's like there's levels to this. Like kind of like with the Fangs exchange, you could donate whatever you need. Like $5, $5 million, whatever you need, whatever you can donate. But there's a clear target saying, hey, this is where we start. You kind of give as you feel. But with the athletic program, you don't have that. And we don't have a season ticket goal that I've seen. It may have been stated, but I haven't seen it. I can't tell you how many season tickets FAMU wants to sell. You know what I can do? I can tell you what Jackson State wants to. Our goal is 10,000 season ticket holders. Are you in? They got a video for it. It looks really nice. Ashley Robinson's in it. They include the guys from oh Lord, I forgot. Clark. Shoot. Yeah, no, Tiger Talk. There we go. They include the guys from Tiger Talk in there. Like, that's what you do, Ashley Robinson. And look, have you seen a big push for investing champions? That goes to that other show I do. We'll talk about that Thursday. I'm telling y'all, somebody is planning on leaving. I'll leave it there. But yeah, like Rattler Boosters have got more video ads out than we have for season tickets right now. Like, there's no stated season ticket goal. I mean, the stadium seats 19,000. I'm thinking conservatively, you should say we need at least 5,000 season ticket holders. And you're not the only team that's out here. Like, there's schools like San Diego State, and part of the reason, look, I pulled this up, and then I saw they had a little black child up there, and I was like, I'm all over this. But if you've never been to San Diego, it is gorgeous. I promise you, you will not want to come back home. It's beautiful. But you can even see right here where it's like, hey, they are targeting 9,300 seats by August 31st. Like, it's a stated goal. So now you, as an athletic director, can include your DSOs, get them involved, and say, hey, we need to sell this many season tickets to meet our goals. Alumni, I need you to get us to this goal. Like, that's what you do. Like, oh man, look, I appreciate that, Larry. Yes, hit the like and subscribe. I appreciate that. And Marvin, this is my point. Without a vision, it's hard to grow. Y'all know I did the vision values thing. You know, I was back at the TEG this summer. I love the skate game. It's an easy job. It's fun. I get to talk for a few minutes. They get to sit down and chill. I love it. But I'm just saying, like, and look, the marketing does not need to improve greatly. The marketing does need to improve greatly. My brother went to Troy, and I constantly get info from their games and merchandising, purchasing. Why I've never gotten an email from FAMU Athletics or anything. Whew. That, you know what's funny? I get an email from the University of South Florida about every other week. And during football season, I'm going to get an email every week. UCF, South Florida, I guarantee when I check my emails, I'm going to get messages from them inviting me to come to games, go to events. Like, it literally, I promise you, if I were to, I told y'all for the FAMU Jackson State game, excuse me, that weekend, my buddy and I were supposed to go to Gainesville. I just looked it up for research purposes. The Gator season ticket package stuff. You would not believe on my Facebook, Instagram, how much Gator ticket stuff I've gotten in the past couple of days. I've done the same thing for FAMU. I haven't got the kind of ads. And that's not speaking to, like, because some of that may be behind the scenes stuff, but literally, you'd be surprised that if I literally open a tab, it's probably going to have some UF Gator ticket stuff up there. And I cannot stand the Gators. And you know what? I did the same thing for Florida State. no real Florida State stuff. So it's just interesting to see though. But we don't have a stated goal. Like, what kind of goal do you have that are you trying to have to buy season tickets? Do you have 10,000 seats? Do you have 7,000 seats? Do you have 5,000? Like, look, Ashley said they have the best in everything every year. Then every season starts and they show us who they are. Look, Jackson State's been mid since forever. Like, I mean, when Dion was there, they were prime. Before he was there, they were mid. And it's not even like, that's not a slap in the face or anything. Go check their record. They were middle of the pack most of the time. Like, they were the program with the biggest stadium that didn't get the wins. Just saying. Like, look, FAMU's hard. 80 don't run the ticket office, which is a big part of it. That is a problem. That is a huge problem. And she catches the flack for it. It's like I used to get emails from South Carolina State simply because I bought a ticket the last time we played them in Orangeburg. I had to block the emails. Look, I'm just saying. Look, 3-8 the year before they had Dion. The first year they had Dion, y'all remember they almost lost to Delta State? Like, I'm just saying, like, some things don't age gracefully, but some things we just not gonna. I'm not gonna let you forget that. Like, you're not gonna. That first season, he struggled. Like, I'm just saying. But we need a stated goal, just for season ticket wise. Like, whether it's 5,000, 10,000, FAMU Athletics should come out with a season ticket goal and say this is how many invested champions we have, which I'll give her credit. I've heard her say the number before and say kind of where we are on pace and on track. But look, the only reason I'm talking about JSU is because I'm talking about the game where we play JSU. Otherwise, I don't talk about Jackson State like that. Unless you're one person, I always talked about Jackson State to them because they went to Jackson State. Otherwise, I don't do it. But yeah, like, because in this case, Jackson State's doing it right. Like, hey, this is how many season tickets we have. This is how many season tickets we need. But additionally, these are our supporters. These are the people our people listen to. Let's include them in the season ticket push. Because all of a sudden, Ken Clark and them are literally parroting what Ashley Robinson is saying about support the university, support our NIL programs. Like, we do get some of that with it being said supports the Fang Exchange, but same point. Some of y'all getting what y'all asked for from my AD because she ain't said nothing. Yeah, we're going to point that out a little bit. So, now lastly, man, this SWAC media deal, look, some people were right. And I text Scotty. I said, you were right. I said, you on the money with that. HBCU Go expands Black college sports reach across the U.S. Yes, they do. And the SWAC is locked in a 10-year deal where you get the same amount of money. I mean, it worked out in the grand scheme of things because it did help with that one thing all these folks like to say, visibility, da 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 da. But let's see. I purchased season tickets from Troy State once, and I still receive emails of purchase tickets. I received my notification to purchase my silver investing champions. Whew. And look, 10-year deal, no money. Exactly. You know what? The pros do the same thing. I told you all the season tickets for the Bucks. You would not believe. I think this year is the first year I did not get a notice to renew my season tickets that I haven't bought in about 10 years. Like, been down in Orlando about 9 years. So about 9 years ago, I bought season tickets. But yeah, like, we were told you were literally washing your hand of the situation, letting that be Byron Allen's problem. And whatever he did with those rights is what he did with them. And it's what he's doing. Like, hey, I got these rights. Okay, let me go shopping to the highest bidder. Now, am I saying you could have done that as a SWAC? Probably not. Like, I don't know if you got those connections. But what I think you do now, you now leverage this to try to figure it out how to get more money. Because obviously there's some value in this product. Like if we're being honest, if you're doing this right in your HBCU go, Byron Allen, whatever, you tried to kind of get the griot going. I know how many of y'all watch the griot, but it's not always it. I mean, it's not a bad network. It's just, it's all right. But my thing with that is when I'm starting to look at it, this is where if you're the SWAC, you go back to the table and you start to look. And I screenshot this kind of stuff. I screenshot it, I save it, and I put in a slide deck. And I sit up here and I say, hey, Mr. Allen, we got that 10-year deal with you. And honestly, I don't know if you look to add any schools or not. If you're the SWAC, I really don't care how you feel about that. Look, bruh, Marvin, who negotiated that deal without thinking of inflation? My man, my brother, you said something right there. That's a real question right there. But I bookmarked this. Then I bookmarked the deal that you got. And I say, hey, look, man, this is how much money, this is how much money you should have made off the deal. Because somebody's gonna leak. Somebody's gonna leak how much these companies paid Byron Allen and whatnot. This is how much you got. We need a bigger piece of the pie, but we'll give you more. And what you do to give him more is you include the other content. And within that deal, you include advertising for your universities. Like, it's literally what the ACC network does. They literally, once a week, they have something where they do they just replay their tours of the conference. They take you to all the conference cities, show you the sporting event that everybody cares about, and then takes you around the city, tells you how great the city is, how great the campus is. Like, you include that, you include the bands, all of a sudden you have something that is nuanced and different, and that when you expose that to the entire American market and more, now all of a sudden what you've done is created a buzz for your universities. Like, look, man, you're not the only one. And Larry says, I feel like Mr. Allen is pimping a SWAC. I cannot prove it. I will ask for the receipts in 2032. If FAMU made no money, then we need to sue the SWAC commissioner. Look, I think so too. But I think that's honestly, that was what was done. Like, Dr. McClellan pretty much told y'all, hey man, we just gonna let him deal with this, because some of it was that's not my expertise, that's not my field. Shopping these kind of deals isn't my thing. And right now, some money is better than no money. That's what I took from it. I could be wrong, I could be biased, but the way I took it was, this is a media rights deal that is giving me more money than I get now. And right now, I'm getting nothing. I'm getting nothing but from like Cricket and these other companies that we do advertising with, but I've got nobody to really house it. And then ESPN isn't giving me the best deal. So with HBCU Go, I get a decent deal or a better deal, and I keep the ESPN deal. So I at least got some money coming in. Like, look, I'm not a sports agent, but I'm doing no more than a 3-year contract before my money. Look, I'm just saying, that's where I think that 10-year deal was too long. I do think, just in retrospect, but I don't know if that was a going rate. But I do feel like when I look at it, you've got a type of brand and a type of product where you can package what you already have and make more money off of it. Because let's be honest, you have the most popular HBCU bands in your conference. Outside of, A&T's like known. Like, they're known. Like, I'm not going to discredit what North Carolina A&T is. Norfolk State is known for folks, especially that like follow bands. But if you were about to like HBCU bands, Marching 100 is going to be one of the first ones that comes to mind. Human Jukebox, Sonic Boom. Outside of those three, you're going to start to kind of hit some walls. And if people know, they're going to say Marching Wildcats. Like literally, your most popular HBCU bands are all in SWAC, except for two. And like, sorry, South Carolina State, I don't consider you one of the most popular. You can't package that into content. Like, you've literally had bands in your conference have shows where they follow your band. And we watched it. Like, Alabama State had a whole TV show about the band. And I ain't gonna lie, I watched every episode. I was like, oh, this is captivating. It's good TV. Like, you can't tell me that you can't run that back with some of the other schools in the conference. Like, I'm just saying. Like, but we are getting no money. Show me the money, then I'll personally sing praises of the SWAC commission. You do get a cut. Yeah. You get a cut. It's not a lot, but you get a cut. It's better than what you were getting before, though. What you were getting before is extra no money. And please go on Honda Battle of the Bands and vote for the Marching 100. Please do. And you know what would be fun? Partner with Honda. Make that a show. Put it on HBCU Go. Like, I'm just saying, with the HBCU Go brand, turn it into like an HBCU focused or centered network. Like, it's there. You literally have a deal with all these conferences except for the HBCU conference. So you have a monopoly. Like, I hate to say the ugly word and nobody cares, but Byron Allen has created a market and a monopoly of HBCU content. He's literally cornered the market. He signed a deal with the SWAC. He signed a deal with the MEAC. I believe he's got the SIAC and the CIAA. Those are the four major HBCU conferences. Outside of that, you have one more HBCU conference. And otherwise, he has a monopoly. Like, and I'm hoping nobody that's, a lawyer that's trying to sue that man is like recording this, but that's just the thing. Like, look, they do. Tennessee State, Aristocrats bands, they are something. They're up there. They're up there. So I did forget them. Sorry about that. Sorry, Kenny. No, don't take it personal. Y'all the only ones in y'all conference, so sometimes we forget about y'all. It's not personal. Come on over to the SWAC where it's safe. But it is in California, SoFi Stadium, and even still, like, again, some of this starts to kind of tell itself. Like, use the community there, use the history that, like, you can tell some stories and really tie into some of these companies to kind of do some things, man. Like, and look, as Kelvin says, build the relationship. Classics, rivalries on the platform. We ain't pumped because we're in a distribution populated markets. We're building. I will take the trade-off for now. Exactly. Yeah. And that's why I said it's better than what you were getting. Like, remember the old deal, you were getting nothing. I think under the current deal, it's $1 million per school. Like, to FAMU, that don't sound like a lot. To some of our SWAC competitors, $1 million is almost half their athletic budget. Like, I don't remember what Valley's athletic budget is. You can go back and check the ONG Strike Zone, which stars Mr. Kelvin Rozier, Brian Fulford. Go check them out over there. I didn't forget, Decatur G. I didn't forget about you. Look, they actually talked about these athletic budgets. You're not getting the deal you could have gotten, but some of this is similar to what Peak Sports was doing. You're giving a certain amount up so you can make some money. Hey, let Byron give you the money up front. Whether he makes money or loses money, that's his problem. But on the other side, you got a guaranteed check coming in. So, but I think you do go back to the drawing table or negotiating table, and you try to negotiate more money. You try to see if you can get more and give him more. Because how often are we over there on ESPN Plus hunting for SWAC basketball to watch your favorite team? And how often is it that if they're not playing somebody that is a larger school, that it's hard as heck to find? Like, I think with him cornering the market, that's something he's already got access to. And especially in situations where you have just the proximity of some of your teams. I mean, you can go to Daytona one weekend, come to FAMU, hit Alabama State. Like, you can literally start on the east and make your way back west and hit your different schools and do, I mean, a nice little tour from across the South or across the conference and just show different HBCU games every week. So again, it's just a thought, just an idea. But when I'm looking at that HBCU Go media deal, I'm thinking, and I like what Kelvin pointed out. I like that you're building a relationship. That's what you need. And you're also exposing your programs to more people. But I think within that, you got to leverage that so that you can use that exposure to increase enrollment, to increase the quality of students, because every school ain't in the state of Florida and pretty much capped. Some of these HBCUs need to grow. Like, they need to grow. They need these students to apply, because when these students are applying, unless they're using the, Black College Common App, a lot of times they're paying application fees. We don't realize that's a racket. Like, you start thinking, if 15 or 20,000 students are applying for your school per year, you're only going to accept 5, but every one of those kids pays a $40 or $50 fee. I mean, granted, you're going to waive a fee for a certain amount, maybe, but let's say 10,000 of those kids pay a $20 fee. It's 20. That means what? 20 stacks. I'm just saying, and all they did was apply. They didn't get in. What happens if more HBCUs start getting more students apply for them, which we've seen that increase, especially after George Floyd and everything else? This continues to benefit the HBCUs in a way that you're getting extra money off of something you already have. You got the football games. You're going to do that. Great. But now, by putting that out there to these other people who don't necessarily always get exposed to HBCU sports and the HBCU experience, and that's part of, to me, if you're HBCU Go, that's what you sell. You sell the HBCU experience. I'm not selling HBCU football. I'm not selling HBCU basketball. I'm selling the HBCU experience. I'm selling the place where Will Packer came from. I'm selling the place where Oprah came from. I'm selling the place where these giants of the industry have come from. And even though FAMU doesn't have a film school, the school across the street has a film school, pretty new, relatively speaking. You have one of the biggest mega producers on the planet that came from FAMU, that started by making plays and whatnot. Like, I think that's what you sell as far as HBCU Go. Like, you sell the HBCU experience, and that's what you sell when you're advertising. Hey, I got the bands, I got the football, I got the basketball. I get to show the experience and what it looks like on campus. I go up there on Set Friday and I show Set Friday. Like, all of a sudden, I'm selling you the vibe. And all of a sudden, now we got something. That's business. I work in relationships. We make more off people applying than people accepted. Just saying. Like, because in the grand scheme of things, you're going to make, as a university, more money off the people that you accept and that graduate. But at the beginning, everybody pays. And that's just an extra revenue stream, because now if you're increasing application rates, and I don't know, every school ain't on that Black Common App. So for those schools that ain't, that's extra money in your pocket, and you can use that towards whatever you want. So it's just kind of looking at that. It's a hope. And I love that Kelvin pointed out, you did build a relationship with HBCU Go. Now you're spreading across the country to other areas, and you're getting ready to go into the next phase. So look, get y'all ready for next game. Make sure your next move is your best move. Look, Thursday, I'm going to talk about FAMU's game against Southern. But we also, is the OBG playing chess? I'm just saying, she's been real quiet lately, and I personally think, all of us saying the same thing. We just may not have said it publicly. Like, she ain't gonna finish the year out. I think she about to apply to go somewhere else personally. That is reckless, unsupported speculation. But if you start looking at the recent history of FAMU's athletic directors, it's not that far-fetched. Nelson Overton, go read his Kennesaw State profile. It mentions FAMU quite a bit. Courtney Gaucher leaves FAMU, has success. You start seeing where, especially young athletic directors, I can't speak for the old people because we had one die in office, but young athletic directors use FAMU as a stepping stool. And whether they had a good experience or a bad experience, and all three of these have had bad experiences, they left FAMU and were pretty successful. I think OBG is doing the same thing. I'm going to make that pitch on Thursday, and I'm going to show y'all how she can stay in the interview room and actually get that argument across and potentially sway some people. So, look, that's one of the things I was cooking up. And then we're going to look at the Invest in Champions thing after that, the next week. So, but that's what we're going to do. Make your next move your best move. So, look, for her to the Black Techies, y'all, keep that with Fangs Up Podcast. Look, y'all see Kelvin in the chat. Don't act like that. Thursday, be here. But Wednesday, ONG Strike Zone on the Black College Sports Network. Check them out, 8 o'clock, man. Look, them brothers are tied in. And if you haven't already done so, make sure be at the Rattler Booster kickoff because the brothers from the ONG Strike Zone going to be there. Go get your tickets, support the team behind the team, become a Rattler Booster. I promise y'all, by the end of August, I will have my Rattler Boostership financial September for NAA. But we got to budget this thing out. I'm going to teach you. All right, y'all. Y'all already know what's up. It's always going to be Fangs Up.
Yeah, baby, you know what time it is. Now let's get it started.
Are you kidding me? Unreal!
While our HBCUs are mostly known for academic rigor, community, they also know how to turn up.
Does he have it?